Okay, so boom! The scene kicks off with all of our favorite Leaf Genin staring at the screen waiting for the next matchup to be revealed. Now, I am a very big believer in skill-based matchmaking. After all, it makes things much more entertaining. Nobody wants to see the Lakers versus a middle school team, me versus any of you in Naruto Storm 2, Rick Ross versus a Diet. All these matchups are too one-sided. You know who's gonna win every time. So imagine everybody's dismay when the matchup is revealed and the two ninjas that get matched up against each other are none other than Hinata and Neji. Now, judging off the brief scouting report I have in front of me, there is not one lick of information on this paper that could give her the slightest chance of winning. You may as well call me Darvin Ham, cause I got nothing for you. Go hard on them boys. Salute. Shit, all I can offer you is my condolences. But oddly enough, nobody in the stadium was as concerned as I was. In fact, you think this was a somewhat even matchup the way the third Hokage reacted. Talking about some
This should be an interesting match indeed.
Interesting for who? The cleanup crew that gotta scrape her guts off the wall? Nigga, you know this is gonna be a massacre. I'm telling you, something is wrong with this man. He's got a child abuse kink or something. No child shall prosper in his presence. Hinata, now already visualizing the brutal ass whooping Neji's about to give her, begins to stare at the ground looking prematurely defeated. So Neji, in a conceited yet honest way, tells Hinata about her parts. Hinata, be so for real, you know I'm about to beat the pixie cut off of you. Just drop out while you can still walk. You're too nice. Damn. You have no bag and no confidence. Think about your life. You are a failure. You can never make it. Hinata tries to softly clap back, but Neji is not finished. In the nick of time, Naruto cuts them off, screaming,
"That does it! Who gave you the right to tell her what she can or can't be? Go on, Hinata, show this guy he's wrong!"
And just like my will to live after popping 7 perks, Hinata's determination is quickly restored. And now she's got her byakugan eyes activated, ready to get busy. They continue to stare at each other for a little bit longer while hitting the Derrick Henry stiff arm, until finally, they both lunge at each other in hopes of landing the first blow. Hinata's first attempt gets blocked, then her next 3 get weaved, so Neji tries to retaliate with 3 of his own, but Hinata dodges those with even more sauce than Neji did. Now they're both parrying each other's attacks as elegantly as possible, but without even landing an actual blow yet. I cannot lie, Hinata is popping her shit.
Yes, sir.
I must give credit where credit is due. You know what, maybe she should be in the kitchen. I don't know what she's cooking up, but my taste buds are intrigued. This unique display of hand-to-hand combat has everyone in the stadium curling their toes on the edge of their seat. But if there's one thing I know, you can always count on Sakura to sour the moment. Because once the cameraman pans over to her and Naruto, my girl fixes her mouth to say,
They attacked the chakra network? These people are amazing.
"These people? I don't know. The black man in me senses something off about this sentence. You people are always so good at sports. What? I know that's a compliment, but something is off. Like, it's not really. They finally separate from each other to each devise a new plan of attack. Neji looking very frustrated while Hinata looks like she just ran a marathon. They both decided to keep the break short though, because in the blink of an eye, they both are charging at each other with what looks to be very devastating blows. Nigga screeching across the ground sounded like he's drifting, grinding his teeth hard as hell, while Hinata's cocking back that palm like a LeBron tomahawk, putting her whole back into that mug. They both eventually collide, and from the looks of it, both attacks seem to have connected straight to each other's heart. And now the whole crowd is waiting to see who's gonna drop first. And after a little bit more intense eye contact, a blood vessel in Hinata's heart pops, and she begins to cough up blood. Hinata, just as confused as everybody else by the effects of Neji's attack, decides to simply swat away his hand and give him a palm to the face. But Neji easily sidesteps that hoe and firmly pokes her in her arm. But it could not have been a regular poke, because they hit that move with the triple replay. And that is when I knew Hinata's chances of winning have been minimized to 0. It turns out Neji's been beating up her chakra points the whole time, which is crazy considering they're so hard to see due to their size and the added movement of combat. Neji then stiff arms the air out of Hinata's chest, and now she's on the ground panting like a dog while Neji talks that smack. But oddly enough, the quite often easily discouraged Hinata wasn't having any of that that negativity today. So in a rebellious act of courage, she hits us with a little low-key twerk, then begins to stand back up and say,
I never go back on my word. Because that too is my nindo.
What?
My ninja.
You copied my whole fucking flow!
yeah, you thought you ate with that little Jason Tatum ass speech. Anything is possible! Nigga, get your own saying. Hinata then tries to gear up for round 2, but her heart suddenly tenses up like my bros every time I put something on their lives. And that was when Kakashi let us know that all of Neji's hits have officially stopped her chakra flow, essentially leaving her with nothing but her hands to stop him. Naruto, clearly empathizing with her underdog status, then begins to yell down at her with words of encouragement to keep her going. But this nigga must have forgot the show's called Naruto and not Hinata, so that underdog comeback voodoo magic is not gonna work this time. And Neji made sure that we knew that, because by the look on his face, you can tell that playtime's over. He's about to show her what these 12 years of slave hands really do. Neji is really a trench baby. You were fighting your sensei in your palace, I was fighting hunger pains. You punching pads and bags, nigga, I was punching bricks and trees. You may be the main branch at the top of the tree, but always remember the trunk at the bottom is the strongest. Hinata then charges back in with a fiery burst of energy, and now she's really making Neji dance. Keep the weave, parry, parry, block, spinning back fist, weave into a leg sweep. Hinata's really trying to put on a show for her man. After a couple more blocks and weaves, Hinata even tries to hit Neji with a leg sweep of her own, but he swiftly dodges it. You can tell Hinata's starting to feel herself a little. Like, look at the footwork. She's out here playing Dance Dance Revolution on him. But Neji could tell her confidence was getting out of hand, slowly watching her come out of the useless, confidence-lacking bum outline he has set out for her in his head. So to bring her back down to reality, he weaves one of her stiff arms, then gives her a destiny-enforced palm to her jaw, sending her sliding back. But to my astonishment, Hinata is still standing. She just won't quit. She got the heart of a lion. She just might actually win this fight. This man Neji really just full force stiff armed her heart like she wasn't already coughing up blood a few minutes ago. That hit was so hard it had her doing the mannequin challenge. That girl is a real crowd pleaser. Face ass hit so hard it sent her into rigor mortis. Body stiff as hell. And peep the Andy's own Toy Story ass fall. The fall was so embarrassing that everyone in the stands thought she was finished. And rightfully so. Look! She's out here kissing the concrete. So to make sure she leaves here with her life, the proctor walks over to her body, ready to call the fight. But out of nowhere, this man Naruto screams out in protest, "No!
Don't stop this match!
As if she's not already shaking hands with the Grim Reaper. But to everyone's surprise, this girl is still conscious, and not only that, she somehow manages to get back on her feet. This is real heart and determination right here. Sakura could never. Now she's standing up, looking like she's gotta take a tinkle, while also looking very unthreatening, talking about some. Then she starts talking smack for the first time in the match, saying that even though she's badly hurt, Neji's really the one suffering because he's always dwelling on being the lower branch. And I am 100% sure that that line caused more pain than any attack ever could have, because this man decided to not respond with any words, but instead full form sprint towards her while sounding like the Tasmanian devil. The rest of the Jonin could see that he was gonna 8 trigram 64 palm her straight to the Lord, so before he could get to her, they all rush in to stop him in the most aura-drenched fashion. Listen, I don't know if this counts as a pull-up, but this was too saucy to let slide. This man has 4 Jonin restraining him right now. Neji really was the child prodigy of the league. But hold on though, Pete Kurenai trying to steal the show with her no-look arm grab pose. Brother, what are you looking down at? There's nothing down there but streaks of Hinata's blood. They then try to talk some sense into Neji, but mid-speech, Hinata's Hinata's heart gives out, and now she's going into cardiac arrest while having no pulse. So the medics scoop her up, urgently trying to save her life, which ultimately marked the end of this tragic beatdown. Overall, a very tear-jerking bout. You think that any opponent going up against a poor, sweet, innocent girl like Hinata would go easy on her, but unfortunately for her, Neji was happily willing to dish out them equal rights and equal lefts. She was also throwing them paws at the beginning of the fight, and getting up all those times cannot go unappreciated. So for her heart and determination alone, I'll give her an A. And last but not least, Neji gets an A+. As sinister and evil as this beatdown made him look, you cannot deny that this ninja is not one to play with.
I don't really wanna know. Shorty telling me her name. I don't really wanna know. Had to wake up, go to work. I ain't really wanna go. God be with me on my side. He be with me on the low.